Greetings, citizens of Nerdtropolis. Sean Todd here, the mayor of Nerdtropolis, and on this episode of Real Insights, my guest is the legendary actor, Jon Voight. Hello, Mr. Voight.
Hello, Sean. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's an absolute honor to chat with you once again.
Yeah, it's great. We have a history.
We do. I never imagined I would have a single chance to talk to, let alone a second one. So thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today about your new film, Shadowland. I really enjoyed this film. The premise is really fun. It's fantastic. Don't you just hate it when no one really believes you? And especially when your life is on the line?
Oh, yeah. Isn't that amazing? But
Yeah.
there's one thing that he says. He talks about himself because every president, I believe, knows the history of presidencies from George Washington to today. And I say something about, as the president, Wainwright, talk about Lincoln. And I mentioned something that is similar to me, that I'm going through some of the same things that Lincoln went through. And I was so happy I remember when I was doing that scene, I was so happy to be able to mention Abraham Lincoln, just to be able to, because I know a lot about the history of him and all of the things that he went through, and I think we all have those feelings about the various presidents, you know.
Yeah, I think Lincoln was like the first president, like really they taught me early in school, but I'm actually a political science major and history minor. So yes, anything when it comes to presidents, American history, I love every type of thing, nugget you can drop, especially in a film.
Right, exactly right. So I don't want to, I stopped myself from talking too much about it because I didn't want to say anything that would interfere with the people watching it for the first time.
And they'll have a good time watching it for sure. What did you love most about this project? What stood out to you when they brought this film to you?
Well, I think the possibility of just mining the terrible responsibility of a president. This is something that we all think about, especially now because it's an election year. We see so much going on, but it's such a struggle to figure out how you're going to get the presidency at a certain point, if that's what you think is you want and need for the country, and then the struggle to get there. There'll be a lot of interference, and how you handle that. But once you get there, what are you going to do with it? Do you see? And and that's the big thing, is the huge amount of responsibility that a president has, because he has, as Reagan said, you know, a governor has a certain, but you can do something if you're a president, you know. Anyway, so it was interesting to me to give that process to the people. You see all the responsibility and the different ramifications of what one decision might be.
Yeah, and this isn't your first time playing the president. I think you believe it's your second time. You played Roosevelt in Pearl Harbor. How does an actor like you get into the presidential mindset for a role?
You know, each of course each character is different. This character is we catch him in the beginning. He's having difficulties putting things together. He's having dreams that are invading his peace, you know. And I don't want to tell too much of the story, but that's he's past the presidency. He's lost his wife. He's, you know, in a different. So all of those things create what we see on the screen. And to do those things, or to do with Roosevelt, of course, you have a personage that you have to pay attention to, who he was and how he behaved and what his responsibilities were. And it was funny about that one. My son, who's a director, and he's a fun character that I have in my life that always reminds me of many things. And he saw me for whatever reason, I was reading some books about Roosevelt, and they caught my imagination because I grew up during that time when he was president. I was a baby, but I knew that he was someone responsible for winning the war, the Second World War, with Churchill and some of the other fellows. But they took on tremendous responsibilities, that leadership at that time, and how he got through that. So I was affected by him. I felt his strength. I didn't agree with some things about his presidency, but you never do. But he was a strong figure, and he had a charisma, and he used that charisma, I think, pretty wisely at that time when the whole world really needed leadership and courage. So anyway, so that was an interesting thing to try to bring forth. And then with this character, this is of course, a character of imagination, but he reflected a lot of things that I saw in the presidency over the years, and this terrible feeling of responsibility for the actions that took place during his presidency, and maybe some mistakes that he made. You see, so and I don't think there's any president that doesn't feel he might have made a few mistakes, because it's impossible. He's making decisions from morning till night every day. So anyway.
That's very true, but I can't believe it's only your second role in a presidential role. You fit it very well. I loved it. And you mentioned Reagan. I did chat with Sean McNamara a while ago previously. We talked about the Reagan film with Dennis Quaid, which you are in. What can we expect from that film?
Have you seen it?
Not yet. I hope so soon, but I'm looking forward to it.
That film is there's something very beautiful about that film. I think it's very worthwhile for many reasons, but I think it's very well done. Finally, the producer, Mark Joseph, worked hard, very hard. It was a dream of his to do this film, and he worked very, very hard in the post, refining it and asking people's opinions and showing it to people. And I think that what the result is, it's a very good film, and it's a very moving love story as well. The two principals did a good job, Dennis and Penelope Ann Miller. They really caught some of this magic, and they give a very beautiful portrait of the love between them.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see that film. You've been very busy, to be honest. I think you have about 4 films releasing this year. And just recently, was the Cannes Film Festival. You were there to talk about Megalopolis. Can you share what that festival is like? Because that festival is on my bucket list. I'm trying to go, hopefully, when I find time. What is that festival like?
Well, you're a professional, and you know a lot of what it's like, surely. But you would be a nice addition to that festival, I think. I say that honestly. Good people who are really astute about films, who love films, know the history of things, and know the ingredients to making a film. You would have a lot of good times there, talking with people like-minded, but also you would contribute something to it. The film festival is many things. One of the things it is business. That's what it is. It's really a place where people make deals for distribution and stuff like that, and people come, there's a lot of those people come almost every year, to figure out what to do with the films. And this is what our business is. It's business. You get to see films because somebody made a deal for the distribution of that film. And so I have a great regard for that too, by the way. And the people who do it are very nice people. I mean, they're people who love films, and they have to go to work, and they go see everything, and then they meet their pals and this and that, and they make deals at the table that you're sitting at. There's a deal being made, But there's that part of it I have great respect for. And then there's like I was sitting in the Carlton Hotel where I was staying for Megalopolis, and I come down in the morning, and there's I get my little thing, and I'm getting ready to eat some breakfast, and across the way somebody waves to me, and it's Francis Coppola. He says, "John, come over here. Come on, sit with." And I go over there, and his family is there, and everything. So then I have time to spend off, off the record with Francis and his family, and then one night I remember I came in off of something that I was doing, and Richard Gere was in the other room, and some other actors that I really admire. And I went in there for a little bit, and stuff like that.
A lot of legends end up at this festival, it seems like. And I know this year there was a lot of heavy hitters, a lot of great films being shown there.
Nick Cage was there, and I didn't see him, but and I think Dennis Quaid was there, and I didn't see him. But there were, some of my friends were around.
It's like a reunion. I love it, seeing all those photos and stuff like that. Speaking of the film Megalopolis, it stars Adam Driver. I love Adam Driver. I think he's very underrated still. He's one of the best in the business. When you were on set with him, did you notice anything special and unique about him? The stuff that I maybe have seen when I'm watching his film, there's something so different about him, and I will watch anything that he's in. Just like you, I watch anything that you're in as well, Mr. Voight.
Well, that's a big compliment. Thank you so much. I agree with you about Adam. I think he's phenomenal. He's very special as a person. I admire the way he handles himself, and he's very focused on his work, and he's got a great talent and great. I know a little bit of the way he works and stuff. I'm very impressed with him, and Al Pacino's a friend of mine, and he feels the same way about Adam. And the other fellow that was in our film that I'm very close to is also brilliant actor, Shia LaBeouf, and then we all enjoyed working with the great Aubrey Plaza too, who's really talented actress. So the Megalopolis has in it, some really formidable talent, and I agree with you about Adam. I agree with him. I like his work very much.
Yeah, and you mentioned Shia, and I'm a big fan of his as well, and Aubrey Plaza. So I mean, you're naming people I actually really enjoy watching when they do something. And you mentioned earlier that Cage was there too. And there's some rumblings of a possibility of they're working on a National Treasures 3 with everybody they kind of want back. Would you be interested in returning for a third film?
I certainly would like to see that. And so I hope it happens. They've been talking about it for a long time, so maybe they're close to doing it. And I talked to the director about it too, who is part of the ingredient of that. I have to say, Jon Turteltaub has a very special quality that has made that film so delightful. So
especially for us history lovers like myself and you, I just love that film. It just really picks up on my imagination, especially the love for history. It's like,
well, the whole idea of it was a brilliant idea, and whether we can get something that measures up, I still want to know what's in the Book of Secrets. I still want to know what's on page 42 or whatever, 142 or whatever it is. I want to see that. I want to see the third one just to see what that is, But yeah, I agree with him. I hope it happens.
Yeah, I'm with you too. I want to see more. I definitely love it. But this was truly a pleasure to speak with you today, and I really hope we get to do it again soon. And I'm excited for the other projects you're working on. And until next time, Mr. Voight.
Right. I look forward to it too. And there's a couple of things coming up that are terrific. So.
Thank you so much.
God bless. God bless.
Once again, this is Sean Taj, the mayor of Nerdtropolis, and stay tuned for more movie news, reviews, interviews, and trailers.